Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bhavna Joshi and I will be taking the subject creating an inclusive school. So in this subject today we will be discussing about the history of inclusion with respect to Indian context. This topic is in your unit 2. So let's start with the ancient times. The rishis and gurus were very much, firm believers of the in the theory of karma. So they used to say that they used to believe that persons with disability should be given ample amount of opportunities, so that in this birth they are able to learn about the art. To achieve self-actualization, and they should do good things in this life, in this birth, so that in the next birth they get a better life from now. Now, in the later period of ancient history, the practice of treating these persons with disability as a mark of evil spirit, bad karmas of previous birth, and bad omen of the family was very much prevalent. And witchcraft was a very common in rural areas. So, when the pre-independence time came, the Mughals and Marathas, they were very much known for their charitable activities for these children with these persons with disabilities and poor. So, these disabled people were looked upon with sympathy and protection and caring attitude. Special schools, school education. Was started by the Christian missionaries and a charitable organization of the country. So after pre-independence, there came the post-independence time. After the independence, a special provision was led in the constitution as Article 45, which states that free and compulsory universal primary education was given to all up to the age of 14 years. And various commissions were formed, like Kothari Commission 1964 to 66, which said about the education of children with disabilities in integrated setting. Then these are the various milestones with respect to India for children with disabilities. In 1974, there was IEDC, 1992 RIC Act, 1995 Persons with Disability Act, very important act. Then 1997 2000 inclusion of IED in DPED and SAS, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Then 2005 was comprehensive action plan was taken, and so on. And in 2009 there was Right to Commission Act, that is RTE. So let's see few policies. One was the IEDC, that is Integrated Education of the Disabled Children. Now, this scheme was launched in 1974. Then it got merged in 1997 with the District Primary Education Project of 1985. Now, this IEDC scheme emphasized that universalization of elementary education is only possible if disabled children are covered under the umbrella of educational initiatives. So by in 1980s, the number of schools for deaf, blind, and mentally retarded crossed 150. I want to make it a point here that during this time, there were only three types of so-called special schools. One for deaf, and other was blind, and the third type was for the mentally retarded. No other type of disability was considered in special schools. Then integration of children with disabilities in regular schools gathered a very high momentum in the National Policy on Education, that is NP 1986, and which was followed by Program of Action 1992. So integrated education with disabled children was a very important, this add up to very important turning point in the history of inclusive education. Then there was the Rehabilitation Council Act also, which was solely concerned with the manpower development of rehabilitation of persons with disability. Then there was the National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation, and Multiple Disability Act 1997 also. Then there come a very important act, as mentioned earlier also, that is the Persons with Disabilities, Equal Opportunities Protection of Right and Full Participation Act 1995. Now, in Persons with Disability Act 1995, stress was given to free cost of education of all children, and appropriate environment till the age of 18 years was given. And the major facilities or rights given to them were transportation facilities, then removal of architectural barriers from schools, colleges, and other institutions. Then a supply of books, uniform, and other material was there. Then scholarship was granted. Then setting up of appropriate form for the redressal grievance of parents was there. Placement of their children was also there. Then suitable modification in the examination system to eliminate purely mathematical questions for the children with blind or student with low vision was there. Then the curriculum was reconstructed for the benefits of children with disability. So this was Persons with Disability Act 1995. Then there was the 10th five-year plan 2002 to 2007. It aimed at universal elementary education. Now, the aim was to provide basic education for the unreached segment and special groups. The special intervention and strategies like pedagogical improvement, which is the need of the hour, and adaptation of child-centered practices was are focused on groups like the disadvantaged group or girls, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, working children, children with disability, urban deprived children, minority groups children, children below the poverty line. So all these type of children, all these type of groups were focused under the 10th five-year plan. Their pedagogical improvement and child-centered approach was propagated in this 10th five-year plan. Then came the Sarv Siksha Abhiyan, which was launched only to achieve the goal of universalization of elementary education. So there come the zero rejection policy, which was very important. Now, the main component of this Sarv Siksha Abhiyan is early detection and identification of these kind of children, functional and formal assessment for them, aids and appliances. We will read about assistive devices in coming lectures. So aids and appliances is very important thing. Then support services should be provided, like giving special educators, counselors to these children, teacher training, which is very important, resource support, individualized educational program for each and every individual depending on the need of the children. Then parental training is very important. Their counseling is very important. Planning and management of things. Strengthening of special school, because the special schools were now seen as resource centers. So these were also important. Removal of architectural barriers is a very important provision, and it was looked as a very important thing, so that the school should be accessible, the child should be able to go there. Research and monitoring and evaluation is important. Then focus on the Sarv Siksha Abhiyan also focused on the girls with disabilities. So this was all about the Sarv Siksha Abhiyan. So I hope you understood the Indian context of history of inclusion, the perspective of people in India with respect to Indian context, and the various Indian policies which work towards the inclusion and inclusive education. Thank you very much.